Oh, I'm Edwin.
And I'm Jocelyn, and this is The Long Overdue,
a show about libraries.
And each episode will feature a special guest in a short conversation,
focusing on the Sul Ross Library and beyond. Today's guest is Kayla Waggoner, the executive assistant to the Dean of Cultural and Educational Resources, April Aultman Becker. She is earning her master's in history while also teaching undergrad courses. Her research focuses are in American history, specifically uncovering the relationship between Protestant Christian denominations in political movements in the 1920s. Kayla's lighter interests include K-pop, paper planners, organizational systems, and spending time with her friend's husband, Joe, and their two puppies, Cosimo and Caesar.
Kayla, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Welcome.
This will be probably the last episode that I record, unfortunately, but we don't have to talk about that too much. And so I'm really glad to have Kayla here before I ship out, because Kayla is such a big fan of the show.
And a very close and good friend, of course.
Yes. That primarily, and then fan second, I guess.
Fan second.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I know you've prepped some of your answers, so I'm very excited to hear what you have to say. And I'll get us started with our first question, which is, what do libraries mean to you?
So I think libraries are centers for learning. Whatever your purpose for going into any library is, it's at the root of it is to learn something. And that's so cool to be around. It's the same thing as a university campus, but in a lot of ways, the library is the heart of the campus. So you're all just learning, and learning is cool.
I agree completely.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. Learning is cool, guys.
TM. Bumper stickers. Learning is cool.
Yeah, I mean, I love learning. It confused me as a kid when, I didn't like doing pointless assignments,
Agreed.
But I loved, and I still do, love listening to lectures and just soaking in new information. And it always confused me as a kid when students were not interested in learning. Even now as grown-ups, I'm like, you're not watching PBS Nova? What are you doing on the weekend? Kind of thing.
I guess it comes down to what it's tied with nowadays. I personally like classes where you sit there and you engage with the professor. Whereas some classes, all the professor will do is they'll either read off the text or they'll expect you to be constantly writing what they're putting on the board. And I'm like, it's good to take notes and everything, but that takes away from that interaction, that back and forth between the professor, which of course engages the student into wanting to learn more. So I think that's why some students sort of get bored of it, because they're like, I'm just going to write it down. Why should I pay attention? Stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think that with definitely K-12, we have it's a structured, this is what learning is, but libraries allow you to be independent, and away from that. If you want to learn about the most random thing that you can think of, nobody's even heard of, you can. There's movies, even movie, you're learning something. If you catch up on all the Marvel movies or something, you're learning something you didn't. So there's freedom too in libraries.
Absolutely. I think that's my favorite part about libraries is that it's you can go there to learn anything. People go there to do very specialized research projects at the college level, but then even at the K-12, like you're saying, there's not a structured we're learning about this piece of history and then next week we're going to learn about this piece of history. You can go in and learn about anything. It's pretty amazing. Limitless.
Yes.
I love it.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's definitely it's much more engaging.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, Edwin has our next question.
So, Kayla, what does our library mean to you?
So our library is, my first professional job was in the library. So it will forever be super important to me. But being in the library, obviously anybody who applies to library, unless you went to library school, this is my theory. as a student worker, or like for me, I interviewed for staff, I put on there and I cringe. I'm like, I enjoy reading. And it's like, that's cool. That's not what
That's not the job.
That's not what we're doing at all. So just our library and the librarians that we've had there, and the staff members, taking people from different levels and just showing them, going back to learning and everything like that, kind of helping people grow.
Yeah.
So it's very personal to me. But it's also the academic library I've spent the most time in my life. So it's pretty cool.
I love that. Mm-hmm. When you got your staff job, was it executive assistant to April then too? Or was it different?
It was a different title.
Okay.
I think it was administrative secretary then.
Oh, okay. Cool,
it was
cool,
April.
Cool. Yeah. Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why we don't still have an admin assistant in the library. That would be so helpful for lots of people.
Long story.
Yeah, very long story. I assume.
Yeah. Anyway.
Going back to like what Kayla said, like you putting, I love reading. I can imagine them reading that. It's like, oh, perfect. We can send her all the long emails.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Discern this request that we got from a community member. Yeah, that doesn't even make
Why
sense.
me? Well, you put that you love reading.
Yeah,
love
you
reading.
You love to read.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no time to read. You're not reading.
No.
Unfortunately. False advertisement.
Unfortunately.
False advertising.
Yes. I will listen to audiobooks sometimes whenever I'm doing like administrative tasks, looking at spreadsheets or doing budgetary things, especially whenever I was at the public library. I was half children's librarian, half assistant director. And so like I did story times and planning for all that stuff, which was what I loved. It was very fun. And then all the like more administrative, like minute stuff, I would like turn on an audiobook so I could survive punching in numbers into a spreadsheet. Because that's just not for me. But so you can find ways to read while you're working too.
For sure.
Yeah. But okay, so we talked a little bit about your history with libraries, but let's talk about before you started working at our library. What was it like growing up? Did you like your school librarian? Did you like going to the public library? What was your situation there?
So I didn't realize until I started working at the library here. I don't want to call myself a nerd or a dork,
Why not?
but I was a dork.
Yeah.
And let me tell you why. In middle school, I knew both librarians by name.
Yeah.
And obviously later in life, I understood it more. I knew them by name. We hung out. I actually am friends with one of my middle school librarians on Facebook. Name's Carla. And then in high school, I hung out there during study hall times.
Okay.
I would just hang out. Again, like finding random stuff and all these books. And they were actually doing my senior year, they were weeding a collection, all these terms I found out later.
Ooh.
I didn't know that's what they were doing, but I got 3 or 4 reference books
Nice.
in high school, and I'm like showing everybody these textbooks. I'm like, look what I got. So thinking about it, I think I've naturally been on a path to be in a relationship with academic library settings. I just didn't know it, so I love them.
Yeah.
I once did a book project, a book review. We had to do a trifold, like science projects when you had like the big folder things.
Oh yeah.
I did a book review over Harry Potter. My dad did all the drawings.
Is he an artist or just?
That is like spare time. He's not bad. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm a perfectionist, so
Yeah.
if it was bad,
You would not have let him do it.
No, I would have done it. I would have like copy and pasted, right? He did it, and the middle school librarians loved it so much they kept it on display in the library for a whole year.
Wow. I bet that made you feel so special.
Yes, but
Yeah.
also my 2 good friends were the librarians.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you who my friends were, like my actual friends in middle school. but I know the librarian's name was Carla.
Okay, that's adorable.
So, yeah.
My middle school librarian, bitch. She was not nice. She wasn't. Sorry. But like elementary school, you have the nicest librarians, right? Like they're engaging you, they're doing lessons and stuff, and you're coming in very purposefully to learn about books and learn about libraries. Middle school, it was like you never saw her, first of all, and when you did, she was doing this.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, why are you here? Where's your pass? Like,
trying to learn.
would be so upset that you were taking a book off her shelf that she just perfectly got shelved, which I understand that is frustrating. But it's not like we were going in there and destroying them. I worked at a public library before, and the children the children would go in there, try to take one book off the shelf, the whole shelf comes on. Oh my God. One time specifically that happened, and we watched it happen, and then the mom just like grabbed the kid and left. They didn't like, they were just hoping that we didn't see it or something, and it was like, come on. Yeah. That was frustrating. But anyway.
Did you pick those up?
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay. It really wasn't that big of a deal. They were children's books, though, you know, the really thin ones without the, like, call number on the spine. So that's the struggle. But I hope they're having a really bad day, those people. I'm kidding. I hope they're having a good day, and I hope they fix their messes when they make them now.
See, I'm thinking of that mess, and I'm thinking of The Mummy. When Evie's on the ladder and she tries to reach the other side. She knocks over all the briefcases. And I've always wondered, what if that happened at our library on the 3rd floor? Just
the stacks come falling down.
Just sitting there.
It would become a great weeding project.
Years.
Yeah.
And in the movie, like, she just leaves after that.
Yeah,
right?
Like, they fire her and she just leaves.
She's like, I'm going to go on a sabbatical for, she's going to leave for a bit.
I always think of that whenever like people mention like the bookcases falling. I'm like, just like in The Mummy.
Just like in The Mummy. I love that. Okay, so we talked about your history with libraries, so Edwin has the next question.
So what is the coolest library you visited?
So a couple of them. Last week I was on SMU, Southern Methodist University's campus.
I totally forgot to ask you about your trip yesterday when we were hanging out. And then I got home and I was like, I didn't ask her about her trip at all.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
Cool. I can tell you a little bit now.
Yes, please.
But I was on SMU's campus for the first time, and private university, obviously they found some wealthy donors. Represent SMU if you're watching this. The floor was like marble flooring. It's not a comfortable library, but it was like, whoa. I felt like maybe like presidential library or something like that, or something like the official like Library of the U.S. or something. Marble, big old like chairs. So it was pretty cool. But my favorite, Eastern New Mexico University, Golden Library in Portales. That's where I went to undergrad. It's all mid-century, like all throughout mid-century. There's atriums, there's like live plants, there's a sci-fi special collection. So there's like murals of aliens because it's New Mexico, right? So like aliens on the wall.
I gotta see this.
It's so pretty. However, in like 2018, they got a huge grant to renovate it.
Oh no!
Or I don't think it was a grant. It was something with the state. I don't know. Anyways, they renovated it. Boo.
No way.
They like gave. They had community could come and buy the old chairs, like the old mid-century stuff. It's just disappointing. I haven't been back, but I love it. It was like brown carpet, these like green and yellow chairs, huge like water thing. It wasn't like a waterfall, but it was pretty nice.
A water feature.
Now they have this like, when you first walk in, there's this cube, and it directs you all over campus, which is pretty cool.
A cube? Explain.
So it's this big box that's like an information center.
Okay.
So it's like a interactive map.
Yeah.
You can be like, you're here, and you like click, and it zooms in. So it's meant for, they could turn their library into for recruiting. So new students will start in the library or visitors to campus. And that's I think that was part of why they got the grant, to turn the building into I don't think it's called the Golden Library anymore, actually. I think it's like student success something.
It looks like it's the Golden Student Success Center.
Yeah.
God damn.
Because, well, also, like, what I liked about it was just so quiet. And there was, like, one part with a roof where you could sit in this nook and do your homework, and, like, huge fat pigeons would just sit there.
I love that.
So when you got bored, you're like, what's up, pigeon?
Let me feed this big-ass bird.
Yeah, you couldn't, like, touch it through the window, but you could look at each other, and you could
knew.
talk. Yeah.
You could talk.
And there was just so many nooks.
Yeah.
And then now, even if you're on the second floor, it's all open. It looks modern. It's cool. But if you got a group of people coming in, you're trying to write a paper, you waited till the last minute.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear. I'm so glad glad you're here. I hope you go here. But they took away the nooks. Yeah. I like nooks.
You're going to get like an angry letter from them now. Like, why are you dissing our Or
No.
modern library.
I'm an alum, so I feel
Oh, okay, there you go.
You,
Yeah.
I
you
can
have the
diss
right to
them.
complain.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I gave him my money.
Give him your money.
My undergrad library, great space, understated, I think is the nice way to say boring, but not in a bad way. It's very comfortable. It feels like you're in a library space. It feels studious. It feels good to be there. But they had a major change recently, but it wasn't a renovation. They changed the name from the James G. Library. He was one of the first presidents of the university. Bad guy, canceled. 100% canceled. Not sure exactly why. Probably mistreatment of women. That would be my guess. And they renamed it after the first Black student that attended the university, which I thought that was very special and very meaningful. Because when I looked at it, I was like, "What's the Velma K. Waters Library? Like, did they move buildings? What happened?" Because I worked in that library, and I was like, "Represent! What a great name change!" So
Nice.
Cool.
yeah. So I'm proud of my undergrad. I'm sorry that you had an opposite experience.
Well, I love it. I feel like
You're just upset about the renovation.
like 2016
She misses the nooks.
or 17.
She misses the nooks.
Yeah, we can bond. Students, entering freshmen there this fall, they don't know. I'm sure they love it.
Yeah,
cool.
they don't know. They don't
They don't
that
know.
it was different.
No.
I wonder if the pigeons still chill there.
Oh, probably.
I wonder if they just got so mad. They're like, forget it. Because it was under renovation for like 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Fun thing about when they were renovating, they moved the library into an old dorm.
Whoa.
And I visited there
What?
once.
With all the books and everything?
Yes.
Wow, what
It
a
was
project.
so weird. They
That
had
is
some
neat.
off-site, but you would go, like, instead of a study room, you go into an old dorm. So imagine, like, we have Mountainside here on campus.
Yeah.
It was something like that. And so, like, that would be
What?
lit
As hell.
built-in, like,
Yeah.
beds. But people, like, for staff, I'm sure it was great because their offices used to be, like, people's living rooms.
What?
Like,
That's cool.
Like, and you had, like, a kitchen in your, like, everybody gets their own kitchenette or
I would
something.
love that.
So
I would
it's
love
kinda
to cook a little lunch for myself while I'm at work.
yeah.
Yeah.
And a couch so you can be like,
I'm
take a
chilling.
nap. Yeah.
When I was at
Somebody's like, do you
TWU,
live here? You're
Yes.
like, actually, yes, I do.
I do. Thank you.
Someone walks in, look for Lorraine. Oh, yeah, I'm making some waffles. You want some? Yeah, sure.
That mac and cheese going.
I love that. When I was at TWU, the staff lounge in the library there, super nice. Couches, comfy chairs. I think it had a full kitchen with an oven and a stove and everything. So, like, you totally could have made a meal for yourself at lunch.
Wow.
And it was so nice. But my boss, when I was working there, he told me that he would, when he first started, he would take naps in the staff lounge and maybe got in trouble for doing that, which I thought was very funny. But I mean, why not take a little nap on your hour lunch break? If you got to take it, take
You got
advantage of it.
time.
You got time.
You got time.
Take a little nap. Okay, so let's talk about your dream library. It sounds like your dream library would have mid-century modern furniture and live plants. What else might it feature?
Yeah. Atriums.
Yeah,
Man.
we love
Love it.
natural
I
light.
love a good
Skylights?
atrium. Yes. I'm into it. Soft lighting
Yeah,
everywhere. Nooks everywhere.
yeah.
Like, if there was like a lounger,
Mm-hmm.
but something that you could keep clean. Like, nothing that's like leather, because that's not too comfy.
Yeah.
But also not cloth, because, like, what if
That
people
stains.
are legit sleeping there?
Yeah,
That's
getting their
kinda-
drool on there.
Yeah, I'm not into it.
Yeah.
But, anyways.
Like a vinyl covering maybe,
Yeah,
but something a little, I mean, just like
Yeah.
pleather or something would be fine.
I like it. Soft lighting, atriums, natural plants, mid-century, warm lighting. Best what feature?
Mhm.
A corner, because I understand allergies and people's opinions, and I respect that. But a corner that's pet friendly.
Yes.
If I can bring my dog, and one of them, he would stay at home.
I was going to say, which dog would you bring?
know.
Cosimo. You would leave Caesar
but he'd
at
be
home.
crazy. I would leave Cosimo. Would be too wild
Oh,
at first.
so Cosimo would stay at home.
No, I'd take him. Caesar be too scared. But
Yeah.
anyways, pet friendly.
Yeah.
If I'm reading a book or writing a paper and I'm like, oh, I just need to kiss a puppy right now.
Yeah.
I want to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like that.
I think a lot of people would appreciate that, especially when they know they're going to be gone for a long time and they don't want to leave their pets at home for too long.
Right.
Like, I think they'd appreciate the fact that they could, like, bring their pets out as well.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, people like to, go out sometimes with their pets and stuff. And I
Yeah.
know that a lot of them feel limited when places are like, oh, no pets allowed.
Maybe like a closed off, like almost patio like area where you could totally bring your dog and it's like maybe semi outdoors so that you can take your dog on a little walk when they need it, and
Nice.
but you
Yeah.
still have access to the library right away, and
They can
that'd
go
be
indoor,
cool.
outdoor.
Yeah.
I forgot to add, and on that line, maybe there should be somewhere for children. That's good for parents to,
Yeah.
like if you're trying to do your assignments, if you knew there was childcare, I wonder how many, that'd be great.
I've seen certain areas, like in libraries, where it's dedicated to like children being there. And I mean, obviously, I think the biggest thing would be to have someone who could like also keep an eye on them just in case,
Yeah.
When I was at the public library in Aubrey, we had a children's area with like the parents would call them doctor office toys, with like the spinny like wires
yeah.
and those. Yeah, we had a bunch of those and like cute like kid furniture and stuff. Even though it was a kid-centric area, we didn't allow children to be unattended if they were like under 10 years old or something.
Yeah.
So, which I thought was a good rule. But I mean, if you had somebody on staff that was there for child care, like that could be great. But that's not a librarian's job, unfortunately.
No,
It would be a separate thing. But I like the idea.
I wonder even if like students doing, like, let's say students are in a like nursing or family, is it called like family sciences?
I think
I think
so.
that's an old, I don't know, but something like that, a major
Yeah.
who could spend time with the pets, maybe the pre-vet students.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That'd
Like
be
a
fun.
doggy daycare.
That'd be
so
great.
cute. Yeah.
Where they send you pictures throughout the day.
Yes, please.
I would want that.
Yeah,
I forgot to also include a good coffee shop with
Yes.
good hours.
please.
Yeah.
Local coffee shop too.
Local, not an Einstein bagel. Okay. Every academic library, I don't know why they do like Starbucks or
Einstein
Einstein
Brothers,
bagel.
yeah.
I don't know why they got like an exclusive. Come on, local.
I don't know. I do know that the local shop that was in the UNT, like their main library, is closing, which is so sad, because that raised so much money for the library too. So I don't know. I don't know.
I think it just comes down to like output capacity and money, probably.
Right. Yeah. That's
Because like obviously like a Starbucks and maybe the Einsteins,
They can make
They
up
can
the
keep
losses
up.
that they might have at a college library with their other locations.
yeah.
Unfortunately.
But I'm cool with like even if there's a walkway between the two. You could run them
Oh, yeah.
separately.
Totally.
But ease of access to
Yes.
good coffee.
Please.
Mm-hmm.
And where I can use, if it is a Starbucks, one where I can use my like Starbucks rewards,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want the full ciabatta.
Yeah. Full ciabatta. I like that.
Love it.
All right. Next question.
So this is a double question. What is your favorite book and what are you reading now?
We added that part in because for librarians and library-like people, it's impossible to choose a favorite book. So if you don't have a favorite book, you can tell us about what you're reading right now.
I had 3.
Okay.
When I thought about it. 2, I think, 1 fiction, The Time Traveler's Wife.
Okay.
The book, don't watch the TV show. Movie's good. Book is great. It was the first piece of like literature I read post high school and even college where I tracked the themes myself and like I fully got it. And I was like, this is what they were trying to tell me in high school. I get like that's a work of art. Same thing with Kite Runner. Casey mentioned Twilight. Casey mentioned 1,000 Splendid Suns.
Yeah.
It's the same author. Kite Runner, the most beautiful book I have ever read half of.
Okay.
Because it is so painful. I read like 2 chapters. Have y'all read it?
I watched the movie.
Okay. I'm sure it's the same premise. I read like 2 chapters. I'm like deeply
It hurts too
sobbing.
bad,
But
yes.
it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Like the story is, wow. But I will not finish that book. But you should. You should.
But
give
you
it a look.
should.
But you should.
Tell
But you
me-
should.
Let's talk about how we cried. But then a nonfiction book that I would love, I try to plug all the time, is The Half Has Never Been Told by Edward E. Baptiste. I might have gotten his middle name initial wrong. That is goals for historical nonfiction. He writes about American slavery from the lens of building American capitalism based on our slaves. So, but the way he does it by a body part. So I think it's the coolest thing. Each chapter, he does like right hand, and he talks about the significance of feet. He talks about the significance of left hand. So in that, he talked about when, like on the cotton plantations, many slaves had to adapt enslaved peoples had to adapt to, you couldn't just pick if you were right hand dominant. They had to raise their numbers. So every time you reached your highest number, you had to meet it even higher the next time or you get in trouble.
Wow.
And so they learned to be ambidextrous and use their left hand.
Okay.
So they were quickly... So, but rather than just explaining that and saying this is how it worked, which is painful on its own, doing an entire chapter on the significance of the left hand, like, it's so beautiful. I loved it. It's just the way he put it together.
Yeah.
It's great. I
Okay.
recommend it.
What's it called again? The Half?
The Half Has Never Been Told.
I'm going to read that. I love nonfiction, especially when it's
So
told or written literarily. Some of my favorite books are nonfiction, but that are written more like a novel style or just like Susan Orlean, anything by her, amazing. Because she goes on so many tangents, but then weaves them all back in together. Oh, it's amazing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm currently reading Crying in H Mart.
Yeah.
Have you read it?
No, but I just entered a giveaway. I just entered a giveaway on Goodreads, and I really want to win it because I want to read it so bad. I should just check it out from the library. I have it on audiobook right now, but I'm re-listening to Pride and Prejudice, and then I have a another audiobook I want to listen to by Marianne something. She writes about the connection between the reading and language brain. Oh, wow. Very fascinating stuff. But anyway.
Cool.
But it's on my list.
It's good.
How are you liking it? Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's sweet. It's a memoir to her mom passed away.
Oh.
And so it's just her grieving, talks about food and experiences with Korean American culture. She's what's her name? I'm blanking on her name. Michelle Zauner, I think. She is the lead singer of Japanese Breakfast. So if you're into that band, it's her memoir.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Michelle's honor. You got it.
Yeah. It's pretty good so far.
Nice.
Good. I'm glad.
It reads sweet.
Aw. Yeah, I want to read it. Okay, so back to our library. What is something notable in our collection? Can be archives, can be the library itself, can be special collections. What do you think?
So for this answer, I was thinking that the library's collection, every time I think they're not going to have the book, it's there.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, good job. But I think this might not fit the question, but to me, the Interlibrary Loan Service, ILL, just means that collection to me is not framed into what's only in the archives or what's only in the library. To me, ILL expands my access. So, in a way, I think it's limitless. So,
Yeah.
So I don't know if that answers, but ILL, y'all, it's so cool. There's nothing stopping. Actually, there's a couple things, and Edwin will say this library is not going. They can't share this, but most of my stuff.
Yeah.
Like the amount of lending libraries that make their collection available to us, and we do the same, vice versa, is a fantastic tool, not just for students but also for staff and faculty, because like they'll be probably trying to find this book that is maybe way too expensive, or they're not sure if they really want to add it to their collection, so they want to look at it first. So I'm honestly glad that the ILL department provides that opportunity for them, so they can be like, oh, you know what, I do like it, I do want to own my own copy. It's like it's like kind of like Blockbuster back in the day. Like, I really want to own this movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Most of the books that I have on my personal shelf are definitely books I checked out from the library first, because it's like, I'm only going to buy a book if I know I'm going to want to go back to it or reference it or anything like that. So yeah, ILL is amazing. You can get basically any book from anywhere. The only thing that it costs is time. You just have to be a little bit patient.
Yeah. And I mean, the third floor of the library, you just go up there. I promise you, you're gonna find something. And every time I go up with like a list of 2 things, and y'all know because you've seen. I go up with 2 things. I come down my arms like this.
Yeah.
There'll be something like right beside it that I didn't see online. I'm like, oh, that's awesome.
We need little shopping baskets for the third floor.
I would utilize that.
Oh, absolutely.
I know you would, Kayla.
Yeah.
Kayla currently has 40 books checked out.
We don't have to.
Is that true?
No.
Right, okay.
I always exaggerate how much she has checked
But
out.
I bet it's probably
Also,
30
like
something.
less.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't think 40 is enough.
No, I know it's not.
Yeah. I've got a whole bookshelf at home covered in them.
Of just library books?
Yeah. We're
Wow.
not going to talk about it. But
Don't even talk about
if
it.
I find out, if they tell me, hey, somebody's asking for this book and we saw you have it,
You're going to bring it
I
back.
will bring it back.
Yeah.
So don't worry, guys. Don't be afraid of me.
Don't be
But
afraid.
but I have.
She will fight you for those books.
I'll say, are they done? Because I need it back.
Are they done? Because I need it
Are they
back.
done or are they finished, please?
Yeah.
Are they done? Because that space in my bookshelf is it's bothering me.
Yeah. It's a hole.
Yeah.
I need it to go back.
You like make a paper spine that's the same thing and stick it right there so that
should.
you, yeah.
Get one of those out folders, like for files.
Yeah.
Just be like out. Be like
Yes.
some random person took my book.
I love it.
It's not my stuff.
See, now for missing a book, we have like a little paper that says, does Kayla have it?
Does Kayla have it? 50% of the time, yes, she does.
Yes.
Talk to us a little bit about some of the things. This is a surprise question. Are you ready?
I'm ready. This
Okay.
is fun.
It is fun. Talk to us a little bit about the things that you have been able to find in the archives that have supported your research.
So,
And I want to hear about the book that was blank, because I laughed my ass off when you sent us that video.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was pretty cool. So in our archives, because I work in the division with the archives, I've been a little bit more, I think, tuned in than perhaps others might be to the archives. So I have more experience with other archives.
Yeah, that's fine.
But now that I've gained that experience, I know what in particular I'm looking for. There is actually the old archivist, Melita Bell, let me know that some of the materials that I'm needing for my thesis are in the archives.
Nice.
So that's kind
Ooh.
of crazy.
So you're on a
but pretty
treasure
cool.
hunt.
Yeah. What was your question?
Some of the things that you found in our archives that have supported your research, and I want to hear specifically about the book that
Okay.
had blank pages. Was that in our archive?
No.
Okay, that's fine. You can talk to us about it anyway.
Okay. So that was at the Briscoe Center
Oh, yeah.
for American History in Austin. It's on the part of UT campuses. So as mentioned in the bio, I'm looking at politics and culture in the 1920s. So obviously 1920s, you got Prohibition, right? So I found in these papers, it's a small red book, and it says the anti-prohibitionist. So if you're anti-prohibition, that means that you are for keeping alcohol. If you're a prohibitionist, you don't want alcohol,
Yeah.
right? So it says all the sane arguments of anti-prohibitionist. And you open up this little tiny book, and there's nothing on the front, right? So you think, okay, that's just like, sometimes books don't have anything.
Yeah.
And you go one more, and you're like, okay, there's nothing. And this is a tiny book with like 10 pages, maybe 7 pages. Anyways, there's nothing in it.
So funny.
And this is like 1918, 1970. So it's like pre-prohibition, before it goes into law. And so it's pretty funny that they got attitude.
Yeah.
Of course they do. But it's just funny seeing historical documents where they act, people are the same.
Yes.
The fact that it got published and it sold copies is just like...
Well, did it
That
sell
was-
copies? I thought it was like a pamphlet.
It's like a little pamphlet.
Okay, I was like,
No,
imagine that.
somebody printed a zine in their house, and they're just giving it out to their friends.
Yes.
But still, hilarious. And how wonderful that the Briscoe Center has a copy. Like, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes, there's been tons of fun stuff like that. And political cartoons are the best.
Yeah.
There's like, you can put so much shade in a political cartoon.
On a
and,
donkey,
like,
on an elephant.
yes, and
So
just
much
get
attitude.
away with it. So much attitude,
Yeah.
yeah. That was, I think, probably one of the funniest ones My topics aren't always funny, but that one was
I like that
humorous.
one. Yeah. Cool. All right. We are winding down here. Just a few more questions. Do you want to ask the next one?
So, Kayla, since you've been here for a good while here at Sul Ross, what do you love about Sul Ross specifically?
So, trying to think of how to word it. My favorite thing about Sul Ross is the fact that it is possible, can't do it overnight, but it is possible to know every faculty and staff member, to know at least a little bit about them, to know their name, to know where they work, what they look like, a little bit about their life, to varying degrees. And then it's also possible to know a majority of the students. And a lot of places can't say that they could ever do that. If you've got 15,000 students, you are a name, faceless person in a crowd. But at Sul Ross, especially, majority of my time has always been spent as staff. And I love that. I love being able to not just call let me call this random person. I've never met them. I don't know what they look like in this department. Actually,
you're probably friends with
people.
them.
Yeah. And then it makes it so much more enjoyable. And I
Yeah.
think all of Sul Ross is like that. For students, for staff, faculty, we all find people. So depending, and to varying degrees, I think it's a bonus and a negative at times, I'm sure. I feel the same way about Alpine. It's possible. My favorite thing is walking in the grocery store. Okay. Let me say this. I used to say this is my favorite thing. Walking in the grocery store and talking to everybody. Because I enjoy that. It's something we have in a small town that you don't get other places.
Yeah.
But when we went to one Porter's, and at 5 o'clock, I'm so tired and it's so hot, I don't want to talk. I just wanted to throw that in. If you see me at Porter's at 5 o'clock, right after work,
not perceive.
I'll talk to you.
Oh.
I'll talk to you, but no, I'm tired.
You're going to power through it.
I don't know why I added that in now. But
That's so funny.
but that's what I like about Sul Ross.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, last question. And you kind of touched on it. What do you love about Alpine?
That. And when I first moved here, I said, I think I'm busier in this small town than I was. I'm from Lubbock, so it has 250 people. I don't know, 250,000 people. But I thought I'm more busy in this small town than in a big town. And I think that's the case still.
And you
so
like
I enjoy
that
I
aspect?
like it.
Yeah.
I like that there's always friends to hang out with. There's always something to do. But then there's also places where you can go be alone and, go hike or go do something by yourself. So depending on your mood, there's something that fits. Not your food mood. That is not a thing. But it forces you to be a good home cook and learning to cook your own recipes.
Yeah, but in the summer, that's hard.
It's hard.
It's way too hot
so
in my house
hot.
to even turn on the, I can't. I don't even want to eat hot food. It's so hot in my house. Yeah. Anyway.
You need cold stuff.
Cold stuff.
Yeah. Last night at Spicewood, the gnocchi was such a treat because it's I haven't had a hot meal for dinner in a while because it's we're eating a lot of cold stuff because I don't want to cook anything.
Yeah. Salads,
lots of hummus, lots of we'll do some microwave stuff.
Lots of
tacos, which that's a hot food, but the filling is hot,
Yeah.
But if you put veggies on top, then it's not too hot.
Yeah, exactly.
You need
But
a cold noodles recipe, like soba.
Yeah, we do soba
Yeah.
with peanut sauce, homemade peanut sauce. It's so good.
Yeah. Send me the recipe.
Okay,
Yeah.
I will.
Yum.
I like that. Now it's just been the rest of the show talking about food.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I was I'm all for that.
Okay, cool.
Are you going to get ice cream after this?
Me?
Yes.
Probably not. I gotta save my money for gas
Jocelyn
money.
not getting ice cream.
I know. I honestly can't even remember the last time I had ice cream. It's become a personality trait, but I don't really know why. I do like ice cream, but I don't have it as often as I would like. Anyway.
That's sad.
Yeah. It's got to be Bluebell. It's got to be Bluebell Dutch chocolate.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
fancy.
Well, I like what I like. What can I say?
Yeah.
I think that you had questions for us. Is that right? No?
No.
Okay.
Wait, what was my?
I just remember. Rewind. A few weeks ago, when we talked about you coming on the show, you had mentioned that you maybe had some questions for us. Is that still the case?
3 weeks ago, Kayla
Yeah. Was a different person.
was sabotaging Kayla now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's always
You know
past
what?
Jocelyn's fault.
I think I did write questions on my phone. Wow. I don't have them.
That's okay.
Let me think of something.
Okay. You don't have to. I think maybe only one of our guests had a question for us prepared. So
Oh, well,
I don't
now I
remember
feel
who it
bad.
was, but I don't remember who it was, but yes.
Victoria asked us when we knew we wanted to work in libraries.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Oh.
That's right. I asked us that.
Okay. Well, then, have you guys shared your dream library?
I think we always talk about it a little bit whenever
I
our
think we-
guests share.
Yeah, I think we've always put in like our little
But
bits and pieces there, but not like.
we can talk about it.
Yeah.
Do you want to start?
No, you can go ahead and start us off. It's here.
Ice cream bar.
Ice cream bar.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I
an
knew
ice cream
it.
bar.
I knew it.
Bitch, there's an ice cream bar. No, I do like the idea of having when I dream about what I would love to see in a library is something more like a new school, like where anybody can go and learn anything they want. There are classes. There's a gym so that you can do learn how to do workouts and go to just workout classes. I'm envisioning maybe more of like a campus than just a single building. But then there's also a kitchen where people can take cooking classes. There's a garage where people can learn how to do home auto repair, how to change your freaking oil.
Yeah.
People need to learn how to do that, how to change a tire, like more like a life skills new school where you are going to not just do research and stuff, but also having a way to learn practical skills for life, having a tool library where you can check out a drill when you need it and you don't need to always have one. Another cool thing I would like to see is my mom talks about when she was, I think, in college, the Tarleton Library had art and sculptures that you could check out and use to decorate your home for a few months.
What?
What?
Right? How bizarre is that? But I think that's very cool. But along the same vein, like have a studio for creating art, have a music studio where people can come in and record music for free. Having a place to throw. Is that what it's called? Throwing clay,
Like ceramic?
doing ceramics.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
a
yeah.
ceramics studio. Like having a space of limitless opportunities for physical learning as well as psychological learning, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. How do I make it happen though?
Very Swiss
Yeah.
Army knife-esque, almost.
What?
Very Swiss Army knife-esque. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. A space that is a little bit of everything, which public libraries are definitely onto something, but there is not enough funding in the world to provide a place like that for people. The biggest inspiration is like the new school in New York where people can go, and I really don't know how they pay for it or if it is free. I bet Bobby G knows, but maybe we'll talk to him later. But yeah, that's my dream library, is a free institution of learning. Very socialism, I think, honestly. And yeah,
I like
just
that.
don't. That's my dream, and my dreams are more like nightmares.
Oh, okay.
But it's fine.
Okay.
I like that. I was thinking about how that would be incorporated into like K-12, and then if it was something like you enroll in this new school for like a year. So
Yeah.
a lot of students talk about a gap year.
Yeah.
But if there was a way that they could spend time there before going to college, like
Yeah,
I don't know, it could change a lot of dynamics.
absolutely. it could.
And giving people, we talked about learning and freedom in libraries, that set up almost too much power to the people. I love it. I'm into it. I like
Is
it. I think that
is it
it
Power
would,
to
possible
the
for the
people.
people to have too much power though? Like,
Power to the
no. I really like it.
I do too. I think it's very empowering and equipping people for being successful at life. And I cannot think of another institution that's like that. Like, where could you go to learn to change your own oil?
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people don't have dads. A lot of people's dads don't know how to change their own oil. Like, I feel very lucky because my dad did teach us a lot about home repair, car repair, auto maintenance, and things like that. Not everybody gets that experience.
Yeah. But it also breaks down like this barrier of, so those who didn't have a father teach them, but also like women who want to get into fields or areas that they might feel uncomfortable. Like, I naturally just send Joe to go do those things. Sure. But
does he know what he's doing though?
I think so.
Okay, good.
I trust him. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah. See, Kenny has no idea.
Yeah.
He looks at the inside of an engine and he goes, what is that?
Well, I really say, what is that?
Yeah.
So anybody who can just name something.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's a doohickey. Like, you could say doohickey, and I would be like,
you're
yeah,
so
it is.
smart.
You're so smart.
Wow.
I love that.
But
yeah, absolutely. And having cooking classes too for people who maybe their parents cooked for them all the time, or maybe they never cooked at home.
Yeah.
And they only ever went out to eat or got fast food and things like that. Like learning how to make basics, and so you can feed yourself at home. Just like I don't know.
There's also culture. Like you can learn other cultures through cooking.
100%.
So it just keeps growing.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Language classes, like the Los Angeles Public Library has conversation classes, which I know a lot of libraries do this, but it's on my mind because it's in a Susan Orlean book. The library book is what it's called. Fantastic. And she focuses on that library a lot. And one of the things that she talks about is a language immersion class where people just meet for like 30 minutes twice a week and just talk. There's no structure to the class other than like the class is going to be held in English, and people who are English language learners will show up and just practice their conversation skills. Oh. It's fantastic.
I like that.
Just a chit chat club, but in a new language.
That's actually very, very helpful because I mean that's one of the biggest aspects of learning a new language that is key to fully grasping languages. You need to be having conversations in that language so you can understand like how it's said, where it's placed, so on and so forth, because more of these like language learning applications, they only teach you very, very, very formal versions of the language.
Yeah, like you make fun of me for having the Duolingo voice because I do, but which is why I always want to engage in conversation, and then you just say Duolingo voice.
Duolingo voice.
We're about to have a fight on screen. No, I'm just kidding. I will say that my manner of speaking in Spanish does change based on if I'm around Spanish speakers or not. When I was in the dual language classroom and I was working with students whose first language was Spanish and I was expected to communicate with them in Spanish, it definitely sounded more conversational than my Spanish does now. But all that to say, what's your dream library like, Edwin?
Mine's very futuristic. Mine's like probably gonna be like able to be created to like way into the future. I have this concept that like you walk into this library and it's almost like the library is alive of sorts. Like this almost like machine-esque library. Like you go in and you're like, oh well, I'm looking for books on this, and like the entire library, like specifically for you, will highlight books that you can look into, and you'll go there and like you'll get like these like very modern versions of the books, and like when you open them you have the words there, but you can like drag out like the pages
And download them?
well like what Tony Stark does in Iron Man, like where he brings up a bunch of screens and he's like touching him like that, like something like that but with the books, because I know like sometimes it gets annoying to have like one like a book open like that and you're trying to flip to another one, because like when you let go of the book it just closes and you're like, oh, I don't want to dog ear the book because it's not mine, or I don't want to bend it or anything, stuff like that. So like very futuristic in that sense.
I like that.
It's like opening tabs but with books. Like,
yeah.
I had never even thought of that being a possibility.
My mom sent me something the other day that was a machine that, God, somebody had invented that would hold open pages of like 9 different books at once.
Yeah. It's like, I think I know what it is. It's like this giant book that's constant. You can rotate it, and it has like 10 books open for you. So you can be reading 10 books at the same time.
Okay, here we go.
Are you
like
really
that.
reading 10 books
I don't
at a
know.
time?
It was something like that. It was
Well, how
so
many
odd.
books do you have open or want to have open when you're doing your research and stuff? I think it's more like as a reference. Like you're at this
Yeah.
page, you need to go back to this page,
Yeah.
and you can't flip through the book again. But
Sure.
here's what my mom sent me, and this looks like it's very Facebook meme, so take it with a
Yeah,
grain
it
of
is
salt.
that one.
But
It's that one.
Oh my goodness, that's like a printing.
Yeah,
Like an old
it looks like
printing
a printing
press,
press
yeah.
that was like
But-
made to just have a multiple books, but like something like that. But like obviously,
this
'cause I mean-
says 300-year-old
Yeah.
library tool that enabled a researcher to have 7 books open at once,
See.
located at Biblioteca
yeah, it's a printing press. Yeah.
Palafoxiana. Am I saying that right?
A hipster found it and
Palafoxiana?
said, "Look what we can do with it now."
Do you know that word?
No, I don't actually.
I think it's a place name, but it's in Puebla. Let's go,
Puebla.
Mexico.
Let's go.
But yeah, I see something very very futuristic. Like I don't think I'm ever gonna see that in my life, but I think it'd be really cool because like I mean, you get online articles on and you can have all of those tabs open. You can go back to them. When it comes to books, like you either got to bring all of your own bookmarks, your own sticky notes, or something, and even then you're gonna be like, oh my god, was that the right page, or what if it fell out? Like
Yeah.
just to have them open like that.
But even at that point, do you think there would still be paper print books, like a full stack?
Maybe, maybe not. Like in my mind, yeah. Like the pages would be preserved in this book, and like when you would pull out the screen, it would like scan the page, and you boom, it's there up with you now.
Oh, okay. So you can have both,
Yeah,
either or.
I think yes, because the environmental impacts of having a book versus having that same book as a EPUB format saved in a cloud somewhere, the book is a more efficient use of environmental resources. So and if you look at data from like Barnes and Noble and booksellers and things like that, print book sales have just grown in the last like 3 to 5 years. They haven't declined like people thought they might with the ability to access books online, but people love stuff. And yeah.
I think it's also because like it gets really exhausting to stare at a screen. Like there's a difference between being exhausted from reading something on paper than something on screen.
Yeah.
So I think people just appreciate the whole like, okay, you know what, I need a break from my screen. I'm gonna look at a paperback instead because that's way easier on the eyes than
Absolutely.
like, you know, that bright screen in your face. Like, so
Definitely.
So would it search, like, if you're looking for things about turtles?
yeah.
So the books,
Why turtles?
it just came to mind.
Okay.
Turtles are awesome.
But
Yeah,
would
they
the
are.
book also, like, after you scan it, would the book tell you where the word turtles is found?
Yeah.
Something like that? That
And then
was
like
so
of
nice.
course like you have your librarians, but then like little mini library assistants or like these little robots that like follow you specifically around. And like you can be like, oh well, I'm looking more specifically for this. The little robot will go out, look for that book and bring it to you. Like, oh, did you mean this book? And it's like, oh yeah, this one specifically. Stuff like that.
I'm into that. The danger
Yeah.
with that, though, is that everybody knows what you're researching.
They already do.
Not if you're doing paper research.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Could you imagine, like, walking past people like, whoa, 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 or I didn't know we had that.
I didn't know we had that.
Well, just to say that your research would be in a database somewhere. Like
Yeah.
Edwin Udias was reading this
Looking
book,
up all
this
this
page,
stuff.
was highlighting this word.
Was highlighting this word. Oh, why that
Turtles.
word specifically? Just
Oh,
that word
no.
specifically.
Yeah.
That's
Anyway.
funny.
Okay, gang.
Yeah.
I think we did it.
Nice.
Anything else we want to talk about?
No, I think that's
Cool. Well, we have our little sign off, but I don't know if it really makes sense to do. We'll say check us out next time instead.
Check us out next time.
I forgot it. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Check us out
Check us out next time. Yeah.
Okay, ready? We'll do it together if you
Oh,
want.
say it?
If you want.
Yeah, if you want.
So it's thanks for watching. Check us out next time.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Thanks for watching. Check us out next time. Woo! Thumbs up. So cute.